Today we're going to be talking about what to do if your channel is not growing. So the reason I brought this topic up was, when in the height of COVID, I was getting a ton of traffic, but and then probably a lot of people started a YouTube channel, probably more competitive in my niche, especially, and probably in your niche too. So as a result, the traffic has gone down, so the growth has slowed down as well. So that presents a big challenge. What can I do? What can you do to grow your channel? Get more views, get more subscribers. Subscribers, I don't think is the only thing about subscribers that it's more like a vanity number for me. Like I'm getting close to 100,000, but life doesn't end after 100,000 subscribers. So, of course, you do need it for YouTube Partner Program and for Community tab, etc. And of course, if you want to get the silver play button. But I think views and kind of a solid audience is really what counts. What to do if your channel is not growing? And first, I want to talk about what does growth really mean to you? Maybe you can put that in the chat. Growth for me means, that I am making a difference in people's lives through giving them tutorials or giving them information to help them grow their channels. So I initially started out with web design. So I was doing web design tutorials, and that was good. But then Google changed the rules of ranking, and so my website that I was getting leads from dropped out of the search engines, and then I came across video was easy to rank, and so hopped on that, and I love the creativity. A lot of people, at that time I was dealing with local businesses, and they wanted to know how they can use video to generate traffic, leads, and sales. So I started doing tutorials, and that's kind of how I morphed into video marketing instead of website marketing. But also to generate revenue. So most people on YouTube want to make a business out of it. So if you can become a full-time YouTuber, seems like most young people these days, probably 16 to 25, what they want to do when they grow up, become a full-time YouTuber. So I don't know what they're thinking, but it does take a lot of hard work. And I also find out that, making videos is a great creative outlet. So especially, if you're feeling not very creative, or maybe you're not feeling the mood when you start the creative process, then often that kind of gets the juices going, your creativity. So creativity is like a bottomless pit. You can still be more creative every day for years and years. So I think it's a great way to try to maximize your potential as a unique human being to make a contribution to others in society. So it could be a hobby, like the picture here. It could be baking a cake, could be woodwork, like my brother is a wood turner, and he loves wood turning. And then ultimately you want to get more views and subscribers. But I think growth really means, what it's going to mean something different for different people. So I think that you probably all have different ideas about that. But I think for me, mostly is to help others. So I get a lot of inspiration and motivation from helping others with their channels, the creative outlet. Also, one I didn't mention here is the freedom to work from wherever, freedom to set your own schedule, etc. So that's another big one as well. Yeah. How to identify why your channel is not growing. And I put down the tagline, what gets measured gets improved. So if you can measure something, then you can improve it. So let's take a look at YouTube analytics. The two big factors for the growth of YouTube channel is the click-through rate and audience retention or watch time. So the first one here, study your click-through rate. So you can go into the reach tab of your channel or video analytics. Then you can look at the impressions. How many impressions are you getting? Impressions means that YouTube is showing your thumbnail, your video, to a relevant audience. So when you first upload your video, YouTube's going to push it out to what they think is a relevant audience. And if that relevant audience likes you, clicks on your thumbnail, watches your video, they love the video, they watch it all the way through, or watch it 30, 40, 50%, 60% of your video, then they'll send it out to another more relevant audience. So they push it out to more people, so in that way you get free promotion. The impressions click-through rate is when people actually click on the thumbnail and start watching your videos. So if you get that impressions click-through rate, like in this video here at 11.3% click-through rate, most channels, or half of all channels and videos on YouTube, have an impressions click-through rate between 2 and 10%. So try to shoot for above 2%, but try for the highest, go for 10 or beyond 10, and then you can, there's a higher probability that your video is going to do well. So your click-through rate is made up of the topic, the title, the thumbnail, and the first couple of sentences that people see under the video. So when you're putting your video together, make sure you got a thumbnail that stands out from your competitors. It could be a different color, different design. Of course, you have your face on there, so it's going to be unique. And then have a keyword phrase at the beginning that targets, a particular problem that your audience is having, and then have an emotional trigger at the end of your title that compels people to want to click and watch the video. Then you should also study your traffic source type. So where is the traffic coming from for the videos that you've uploaded or from your channel? Is it coming from, most of it's coming from search? Is it coming from suggested? Is it coming from browse? Is it coming from external? So for my channel, most of my traffic is coming from search, both YouTube search and Google search. And suggested, I think, is probably the hardest traffic source to get traffic from. But once you find that a video is doing well in search and it's getting a lot of traffic from that, then you want to capitalize on that and make another video that's similar to that one, so you can try to get more traffic from suggested videos. And the way that you get that is by creating a video series. So when people watch one video, then at the end you suggest another video, and hopefully they'll watch several videos in a row, and that says to the YouTube algorithm that people are staying on the YouTube platform, and if they stay a long time, high watch time, high session time, then your videos will do better in suggested videos. So to study the growth of your channel, you want to, of course, easy thing is, you're only getting a few views, you're getting no subscribers or a few subscribers, then you definitely want to check your click-through rate. And if your click-through rate's below 2% or just over 2%, try to improve it by 1%, maybe every week or over the month. Try to improve it by 1%. So if that's continually going up, then you're on the right track. Pushkar is saying that I'm getting super low impressions despite having 24,000 subscribers. So yeah, that's probably due to your take a look at your title, your thumbnail, and your first couple of sentences. So a low impression rate means, when your video is first uploaded, YouTube's going to show it to relevant audience. So if you get a low impression rate, that might mean that people are not clicking on the thumbnail. Now, the click-through rate will go down as more people watch your video. So when you first upload the video, then mostly your subscribers, which are kind of tuned, which get notifications right away, are going to watch your video. So you're going to get that rush, that video velocity right out of the gate. So your impressions are going to go down initially, and then if people like your video, then impressions would go up as it goes out to more people's watch page. You also want to study your audience retention graph. So the number one factor ranking is your click-through rate, but the audience retention is probably even more important because if people click on your thumbnail and then your content is not what was promised in the thumbnail and the title, then they're going to leave, and you get that hockey stick effect. The first 15, 20 seconds, you get a dramatic drop at the beginning of your videos. So that could be due to an intro. You could be waffling. You want to have a strong hook at the beginning by, you can ask a question, you can make a bold statement, you can tease the viewers about what's coming up later in the video. So that strong hook is what is going to grab people's attention. And then you want to re-engage your viewers by going straight into the content or maybe providing another hook. So in your audience retention graph, which is the engagement tab for an individual video, you're going to look at your key moments for audience retention. So as you see on this graph here, you've got the spikes and the dips. So spikes might be where people are re-watching some part of your video, and then the dips are where people are leaving, or maybe you're waffling, or maybe you got an intro, or something that people don't really like necessarily. So ideally, you want to re-engage people throughout your video. So it's 10 minutes long. You might want to re-engage people with the video with transitions, text overlays, change position, change scenes, anything to reset the attention. But ultimately, it's going to be the topic. So if people are really interested in the topic, then they're going to stay watching all the way through. So, and a large part also is, how you deliver the content. So try to be conversational. Recently, I've been thinking about how can I tell a story in my videos. So that's another way, how to maybe start off with a problem and then agitate the problem, and then tell a story about how you found the solution, present the solution. And so that's kind of like the story arc, you could say, of if you want to tell a story. If you study your audience retention graph, then and then under the audience retention graph, you've got play the clip. So you can play the clip, and it'll show you exactly where that bump, where that peak, where that spike, where that dip is, and then it'll show you exactly what you said and what was happening in the video. So if you study that and then try to improve the audience retention, then that'll boost your average view duration. And then you can also look at in this engagement tab, you'll also be able to see average view duration, average percentage viewed, which basically means your watch time for your video. And then you've also got the end screen element click rate. So if you get a lot of people clicking on your end screen element, then that means that people are making it all the way through and then clicking to watch the next video. So maybe you're suggesting a next video in the series, or ideally linking to a video in a playlist. So when they watch that video in the playlist, you've got all the other videos listed there, and they can take a deeper deeper dive into your content. So when people take a deeper dive into your content, they get a more invested interest in your content, and they'll be more inclined to subscribe to your channel. So that ultimately is what you're going for. So yeah, study your audience retention graph. So click-through rates, audience retention, and just as a way of explanation, YouTube says you can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing your click-through rate and your video watch time. And here's a little graph of from the Creator Academy, where it says when the line on the chart is flat, this means that viewers are watching that part of your video from start to finish. So that's kind of the ultimate what you'd want to get. Oh, hi, Strong Minds, jewelry lovers, all the way from Canada. All right, good to see you. Gradual declines. A big decline, when you first start, when people first watch your video and then you see that audience retention graph and see that hockey stick effect, that's not really good. That means viewers are losing interest right away. So if you see a gradual decline, then viewers are losing interest over time. So maybe the longer your video, then you're going to see that gradual decline. And they do say all videos on YouTube generally taper off during the playback period. So that's kind of natural. And then the spikes appear when more viewers are watching, rewatching, or sharing those parts of your videos. So they could be watching it, rewatching it, sharing it on the social media sites, etc. And then the dips are where people are abandoning or skipping that specific part of your video. So that's not a good thing. So if you get dips in your audience retention graph for your individual videos, study the dips. What are you saying? How are you delivering your content? What are the words that you're using? Are you repeating yourself? That maybe you already mentioned that, but you're repeating yourself. Maybe you don't sound so interesting. Maybe the sound is not good. So all these things you want to study so you can eliminate those dips. Another thing you want to study is the audience tab. This is in channel analytics, new viewers and returning viewers. This is a new metric that YouTube came out with a few weeks ago. And returning viewers are viewers who have already watched your channel previously, and then they're returning to watch more of your content in the selected time period. Whereas new viewers are viewers who have discovered your channel, your videos for the first time in the selected period. So it could be 28 days, 90 days, etc. So you've got new viewers. So when you go into your analytics, you can see, do most people that are watching your videos on your channel, are they non-subscribers or are they returning viewers? And then you've also got, I don't show it here, but it shows you when your viewers are on YouTube is another part of that audience tab graph. And then you've also got other channels your audience watches. So when you look at that, I've got about 4 or 5 different channels that my audience watches. So I got Nick Nimmin, I've got Annie Dubé, I got vidIQ. So all these big channels, my viewers are also watching content from those channels. So I could study those channels and see what content is resonating with those particular creators. So when you go into your YouTube analytics and look at other channels your audience watches and then other videos your audience watches, it gives you feedback on what your audience is interested in. So the big thing about YouTube is that you're creating videos or you're creating content for what your audience wants to watch or what your audience is interested in or the content that your audience loves. So the more you can tap into the mind of your audience, then it's easier to create the the best type of video that they like. So by studying what other channels your audience watches, other videos your audience watches, you can get a pretty good idea, what kind of content you want to make. Ideally, you want to have a core audience of returning viewers. So if they keep coming back to watch more of your content, that's a good sign. I think on my channel, I don't know about your channel, but the large part of my audience is always new viewers. So a lot of people, they watch my content, watch a how-to video, they learn about it, learn how to do it, and then they don't necessarily return. So even though I started my channel many years ago, a lot of people that watched several years back probably don't watch it anymore. So you want to, when you're creating your channel or growing your channel, you want to mix up the content for new viewers and returning viewers. So you want to mix up the content, and then you want to create what is called buckets or categories of the most watched content on your channel. So categorize your content, and then when you're ready to create a video, you can just choose from one of those buckets or one of those categories. Some questions to ask yourself if your channel is not growing or it's not only growing slowly. What topics and keywords resonate with your audience? So the previous slide, I talked about looking at the channels, looking at the videos that other videos that your audience is watching. So, and then I would also study the comments of your videos as well as your competitors' channels and see what kind of questions people are asking, what are they commenting on, what are they most interested in. And then you can even take one of those questions and make a whole video about it, because the possibility or the high probability is that many people have the same kind of question, but they just haven't asked it. So then you want to choose, which topics, which keywords are resonating with your audience. So when you go into YouTube Analytics, you can look in the details of your traffic sources and study the keyword phrases in search and suggested, because these keyword phrases are the ones that brought the viewers to your videos. Another question I want to ask is, are my topics too scattered? So, for instance, if your channel was about how to bake a cake, but then suddenly you started talking about cats and dogs, then then people probably wouldn't be interested in coming back. But when you start talking about how to bake a cake, how to bake a chocolate cake, how to bake a cake in 10 minutes, try to make relevant content. So especially if you find a video that's doing really well, then make a similar video or a bunch of similar videos to capitalize on that content. So that'll bring people back for them to take a deeper dive into your content. You also want to take a look at which videos attract the most subscribers. So you go into YouTube Analytics, click on the traffic sources, then see more for more details, and then you can choose subscribers as an element and add that to the tables, and then it'll tell you exactly which videos are attracting the most subscribers, and then you can double down on those videos by making more of that content, and then you can get more subscribers that way. Another question to ask yourself why your channel's not growing is my channel page visitor friendly? So usually when people visit your channel or they see your video and browse features, or they see it and suggested, they might check out your channel. So do you have a great channel banner, channel icon? Do you have sections on your channel homepage that contain playlists that people can go take a deeper dive into your content? So just like this image here, I've got the channel banner, which illustrates what my channel's about. Then you've got your channel trailer. Then you've got your playlists, different sections of your playlists, and then you can put your most powerful or your most popular videos at the top in a playlist at the top of your channel homepage. And so people, it's like a website. When people go to the website, they quickly scan the website or the web page to see what they want to read or watch. So in this case, they're going to see your thumbnails because that's a visual imagery, and they'll click on the thumbnail. So definitely look at your channel homepage and see what you can improve there. And then the other question is, how am I delivering my content? Am I being authentic? Am I being natural? Am I sort of speaking like above people or speaking too much in a robot style? So I know when I first started making videos, it was very hard to not just look at the script and read word for word, but if you can imagine you're talking to one person or talking to your best friend in a conversation on a phone, and you're explaining to them, what a solution to their problem, then that's more conversational. So try to be conversational, authentic, and natural in your videos, and that will resonate more with your audience. Give YouTube what it wants. So what does YouTube want? YouTube wants to get as many people as possible to click on your thumbnail and title. So that means high click-through rate. So the longer you can keep people, the more people that can see your thumbnail and click on it, they get that high impressions click-through rate. That's what YouTube wants. After that, YouTube wants to get as many people as possible to watch your video all the way through. That means high engagement. So if you can give YouTube what it wants by high click-through rate, high engagement, then YouTube will push your video out to more people. And the third thing is to get as many people as possible to keep coming back to watch more of your content. So building your community, building your subscribers, building those super fans. So those are the kind of like in a nutshell, like a very simplified version of what YouTube wants. They want people to click on the thumbnail, watch your video all the way through as much as possible, and then come back to watch more of your content. So that's kind of what the algorithm, how the algorithm works. Let's look at some of the best ways to grow your channel based upon what I just mentioned. So niching down is a big thing these days. So if you are talking about how to bake a cake, it's probably going to be very competitive. But if you say how to bake a chocolate cake in 10 minutes, then, or just focus on chocolate cakes, for instance, I think particularly in this highly competitive environment, that the more you can niche down and focus on a very specific niche, then it's easier to attract a target audience. And then you want to identify the topics your audience loves. So going through the keyword research, looking at your competitor, reverse engineering your competitors' videos and channels, studying your comments, going into YouTube search, see what people are, what search queries people are using to find your content or finding videos that relate to those keyword phrases. And then going into your, looking for those high search volume, low competition keywords. So like a long tail keyword is much easier to rank for than a high competition. So I'm sure if you put how to bake a cake, you're probably not going to get anywhere in the search engines. But if you find that long tail keyword phrase, it has less search volume, but then you can more easily compete with that and possibly get a high search engine ranking. And then you multiply that by 5, 10, different videos that are targeting these long tail keyword phrases, then you can start ranking for multiple keyword phrases, and then that sends a signal to the YouTube algorithm that your videos are loved by your audience, and then they'll push your videos out to a wider audience. And then if you create a video series, then people can not just watch one video, but they'll watch multiple videos in a row. So when you're thinking about making a video, think about a theme for the month, or thinking about a series of videos that you can all link to each other in a playlist, and then you can link to that related video or to that playlist in the card, end screen, in the comments, in the description. So everywhere on your video watch page, your card, your end screen, your comments, your description, all makes it all, your tags, your title, your thumbnail, everything's relevant, pointing to that content that should be surfaced to people on YouTube. And then create an engaging video, which I just talked about. Try to be unique, try to be authentic, and then, of course, optimizing your videos correctly with the relevant metadata. 4 ways to grow your channel. After you've uploaded your video, optimized it, your work has just begun. You want to promote your video on social media, transcribe your video, maybe embed it on, transcribe it and embed the post on your website, embed the video on your website. And then you want to monitor your analytics. Like I said at the beginning of this video, you're studying your click-through rate, your impressions click-through rate, your audience retention, returning viewers, new viewers, etc. And then branding your channel homepage, and then try to create better videos. Try to improve on every new video upload. So you try to, improve by 1%. So trying to come up with a better design for your thumbnail, trying to, if you're getting a lot of people dropping off after 2 minutes, then maybe shorten your video from 10 minutes to 2 minutes or 3 minutes so you get that high audience retention. And then I would also try something new. Maybe try a different thumbnail design. Try text versus no text. You can split test your thumbnail. If you have TubeBuddy, you can split test the thumbnail with the split tester. I think it's in the Legend version. And then you can compare text on the thumbnail versus no text on the thumbnail. So with your thumbnail, you want to convey a message and try to get some response. The main response is you want to get people to click on your thumbnail. So if you can give a message or tell a story in your thumbnail, that will have a better probability of getting clicked on. Sometimes what happens is you get too close to your content. So you spend hours coming up with video ideas, shooting the video, editing the video. And when you spend hours on a video, it's very hard to see the mistakes, to see the blind spots, etc. That's why it's always good to get feedback. So for my thumbnails, I ask my wife now, so what do you think of these different thumbnails? And many times the thumbnail she likes is different to the one that I like, because I said, well, I spent 2 hours on that thumbnail, and then you didn't choose that thumbnail that I spent the most time on. Or I'll bring it up in my Facebook group, and the people in the Facebook group or my community tab will choose the thumbnail that maybe I only spent a few minutes on compared to maybe an hour I spent on another thumbnail. So getting feedback is really good to eliminate the blind spots. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group, then check out the link in the description, or go to facebook.com/groups to Video Bootcamp. So you can get feedback. You can interact with like-minded creators in there. Another thing to grow your channel is your upload consistency. So are you uploading once a month? Then maybe you should try once a week. Or if you're doing once a week, you could try uploading twice a week. If you're only uploading once a week and that's all you can handle, then focus on making a very high quality video for that one time a week that you're uploading. So when you improve the quality of your video, maybe improve the thumbnail, the quality, the delivery, all these things can contribute to a better video. You can even upgrade your camera or your backdrop, etc. So a lot of things go into a pleasurable viewing experience for your viewers. You might also want to get expert advice. So you can hire a coach or get a review. So I do have, if you want to get like a 1 hour coaching call with me to go over your channel, then you can check out the link in the description. I just kind of go with you and answer your questions, go through your channel, etc. So you can check that out. But there's probably many more ways to grow your channel, but those are some of the top points I wanted to cover. You can also become a channel member. So a channel member, you can get members only channel reviews, growth strategies, behind the scenes, custom badges, emojis to make your name stand on the comments or live chat, and you can just click the join now button below the video. Here's a couple other videos that you might want to check out. The first one is how to use the YouTube algorithm to your advantage. And the second one is how to promote your YouTube video after you upload. So 10 ways to promote your video after you've published your video.